at the Chevron Championship this week. How have you kind of prepared for this major and your debut?
Yeah, I actually came out a little bit earlier than usual just because I haven't seen this golf course yet. Last week was a nice little week off and got to work a little bit on my game, and then came out here, played a little bit, and it's just been very simple prep. I think it's just everything's going pretty smoothly and everything's pretty abnormal, just normal.
And we saw you 2 weeks ago make match play at the T-Mobile Match Play presented by MGM Rewards. So anything in particular you did during your week off to kind of relax, maybe, non-golf related?
Well, I'm officially a Las Vegas resident, so I've been working on the home a little bit more when I was in my off week back at home. And I didn't really do anything, to be honest, but it was definitely a nice time off. I actually got to have dinner with Michelle and Marina right after the event, so it was nice to kind of catch up with them, and it was a very simple time, so.
Awesome. Good to hear. We'll open it up here in the Media Center. Kent?
Hey, Rose, when did you make it out to the course last week, and how many times have you played it so far?
Yeah, well, I came out, or I flew out Saturday, and then on Sunday I just practiced a little bit, got to do a little bit of short game putting. Then yesterday went out and played 18, so just looked at the course a little bit more briefly, and today was a little pro-am, so just very simple. Didn't really do anything too crazy, and just honing in on some skills.
Building off what Carly said, was last week your first week off of the year between school and playing on the LPGA? And if so, how are your energy levels coming into this week with that?
Actually, it is. It was my first week off, especially, in the 10 weeks. I felt like there was a lot more stress involved when it came to going back on campus and going back in the flow with studying and practicing a little bit more. And then when I was playing on tour for a little bit, it did take a little bit of adjusting for me, just because it's an entirely different atmosphere out here than in college. So it was really nice to kind of let loose a little bit in the off week. By letting loose, I really didn't do anything. I just stayed home, ate good food, stayed, and didn't do anything too crazy.
Bringing it to the golf, you had a lot of success at majors last year, 3 top 10s. What is it about majors, be it the setup, be it the stage, that allowed you to succeed as your first year as a pro?
Yeah, last year, all the majors, they always play tough. There's a reason why they're called major championships at prestigious venues, and these venues in particular, they really challenge all parts of one's game. So being able to really understand course management, understand commitment when you're out there with your game plan, it's all just part of being able to perform well when you're at a major level. So last year I did take it into my stride. I played major championships before as an amateur, and that gave me a little bit of experience into what the atmosphere is like. So that definitely helps me a lot last year. And going into this year, I think the mindset's the same. You know that out there you're going to be having to play tough conditions, and the setup definitely isn't going to be easy. So understanding how to get and navigate your way around the course is more important.
Any skills in particular you were focused on as you were practicing here these last couple days?
Yeah, well, the greens are firm just because they're new surfaces, which I heard from a lot of players and a lot of people this past week. Once you land the ball, it's going to roll out. So there's going to be a lot of lag putts, a lot of speed work around the greens, and there's a lot of grain out here. So understanding how to make sure you're using your wedges and using the bounce right, these are all things that I've been thinking about and taking into consideration.
All right, next here.
Yeah. Hey, Rose.
Hello.
Just reflecting about a year removed now from Augusta National Women's Amateur and seeing it all replay and seeing Augusta National, you reflected a little bit on social media on it, but what were just your emotions and how much a year has changed things for you?
It's been a pretty long journey. It feels like, even though it's only been a year. I was just cheering on all my friends when I was watching Anwa this past 2 weeks, and it was super almost nostalgic. Just knowing that I won't be going back there to compete ever as an amateur, but. I mean, once I look back, it's always fun to just watch. And Masters Week, oh my gosh, it was a masterpiece with how everything played out. And I just love watching golf. And these 2 weeks have definitely been just on top of my list to, after the round, go back and watch, have fun, and really learn about how other players are playing and learn a thing or two. And I think everyone really got to feel that and know that from all the players' performances, from Lottie winning the Anwa and just coming in so clutch. And I know she's in the field this week, so I'm so happy for her. And Scotty, I mean, what a performance he has, and his platform to be able to bring out his faith. It's really incredible.
Awesome. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
I'll just ask a question real fast on that topic. Do you have any message for Lottie this week as she kind of makes her LPGA debut out here after winning Anwa?
Yeah, I mean, I know that Lottie is probably over the moon and just so happy, and I'm super happy for her. A lot of players out here are just so excited to see her out here. But I would just say, live in the moment. It's already such a great opportunity to tee it up against the best in the world. So really just embracing that and having a good week, having a fun week, even in tough conditions or regardless of what happens, just have fun.
All right, one more here.
How much are you working on or adjusting ball flights going into a week with a course like this?
Well, I think you don't really want to change too much, just because once you have a fundamental ground of what your game looks like, you kind of just want to understand how you can be comfortable and work with that when you're out here on the golf course. Especially in major weeks, you gotta have to learn how to somewhat be comfortable with the shots that you're playing, with minor adjustments. I think mostly it's short game and the lag putting that will make the difference with a lot of players. But at the same time, making sure that your ball flight is high enough to be able to land it somewhat a little bit softer, that will be very crucial. I feel like the long hitters have a huge advantage when they're out here playing. So even though you're not trying to hit out of your stocks, just getting a little bit of yardage doesn't hurt either.
And then what have your thoughts been on the Woodlands so far here through a few days?
It's been great. I mean, the overcast is actually super nice. It's not too hot. I felt like, it's very, I mean, it's a little hard to describe Bermuda, but in this Bermuda condition, it's pretty lush. It's very, it's a little bit humid and fairways are soft, but greens are a little bit firm. So it's definitely a contrasting kind of golf course, but I've been really enjoying it thus far.
Amy?
Rose, we weren't sure last year if the celebratory leap, that tradition, was going to live on last year, but Lily Avu continued it and jumped into the lake here after her victory. Mm-hmm. Have you had a chance to look at the lake here beside 18, and would you jump if you won here on Sunday?
That's a really good question. I was talking to my caddy about it, but I've played A&A. I played the A&A Junior Inspiration before, and the pool definitely looks a little nicer than out here. I saw the board, and, at that point, if you're a major championship, why not? Just jump in. But, yeah, I don't think I would do it voluntarily.
And then one last question. We're right here by the Olympic rings. How much, with it being a big year with Olympics and Solheim Cup, how much is that on your mind, and how much of that, both of those experiences are a goal for you?
I mean, it's a big year, especially with the Solheim and the Olympics coming up. I think that, I think the game speaks for itself. If you're playing good enough and you're playing to be the best that you can be, then naturally, I think those selections will ultimately come out in your favor. But before that, you do have to put in the effort, and you have to put in the work and make yourself be a part of that team, or at least, I guess, try to get there. So I think it's more so the process of just trying to play the best, and if things come out like the way they do, and they come out in my favor, then that's great. But if not, just keeping my head down and working hard also doesn't hurt.
Yep. And any questions on the Zoom real fast before we wrap up with Rose? All right. Jean, if you want to unmute yourself here.
Sure. Hey, Rose, how would you describe the degree of difficulty of what Nelly's doing 4 in a row? I mean, winning one event is hard enough on tour. To win 4 in a row, just how can you put that into perspective?
Yeah, I don't think I can put a scale to what she's accomplished. That's honestly just such an incredible feat. There's only one Nelly Korda, and I think she really shows how she's the best right now in the game. And even growing up, I've always watched her play, and there was obviously something special about her. So to see her do all that she's done, especially the last 4 events, it's been really inspiring. But yeah, it's very hard to put a scale on what she's done. You say difficulty level, you honestly can't really, it's so difficult and it's so rare.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Rose. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. And then Alex here would like to grab a few quick questions with you, but then